Right now at 5:30, we are tracking a developing story out of Madison County. The coroner says a man's body was pulled from a swollen creek. We'll have more on the investigation in a live report.
Also on WKYT this morning, a Lexington man who was badly injured when a storm knocked down a tree onto his family's tent as they were camping is now out of the hospital.
A Lexington man's charged with sexual abuse this morning after police say he groped a teenager on a bus.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, and it's so nice to have you with us on WKYT here on the 15th of April. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. It is a tax day. Today's the deadline, unless, of course, you're filing an extension. And speaking of extension, these rainy days.
Oh, extended rainfall continuing 4 days to come. It looks like, really, those chances anyway. Meteorologist Micah Harris on duty in our First Alert Weather Center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. That is not what a lot of people want to hear. As we continue to just go through the next few days, here comes more showers. We'll actually get a few rumbles of thunder tomorrow, and it just doesn't stop there. We even take it off into the weekend, too. Defenders showing the rain down toward the south. Now, this is a swath of rain. It's really for the southern zones. Southeastern zones heads up. It's heading your direction, so London heads up. You're already getting on the northern extent of that, but it'll really pick up here in the next 15 to 30 minutes. Current temperatures, 50s outside. We're at 52 now in Jackson. Actually set a rainfall record yesterday at 2.01 inches of rainfall. And you know, some even got to 3 and 4 inches yesterday. It was not fun to really watch. Let's just put it that way. By the afternoon, small chance of rain. Temperatures right around 65 degrees. It really picks up overnight and into tomorrow. More widespread rain on the way. We'll get into that in just a few minutes.
See you in a bit. Thank you.
Well, new this morning, we're tracking a developing story out of Madison County. The coroner there tells us a body was pulled out of a swollen creek.
The man's body was found on Paint Lick Road near Berea late last night. And WKYT's Mark Barber is live in Madison County right now with what we know at the moment. Mark, good morning. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Bill. The coroner says there are still quite a few unanswered questions in this case. Yesterday's spring storms slammed the county hard. Tates Creek Road, which is here behind me, is still closed because of a mudslide, but crews say that the strong spring rains weren't just dangerous, they may have been deadly. The coroner tells us that they pulled a body out of a creek late last night. The discovery came hours after search and rescue crews started looking for a car that was swept away by floodwaters on Paint Lick Road near Berea. Teams were able to find the car that afternoon, but the coroner tells us the man's body wasn't found until 11:30 p.m. While the coroner is not saying if the man was the driver, he is telling us that he suspects a man drowned in the creek. Now, the coroner says he hopes to learn more about the man's death today, which is when his autopsy will be performed. Live in Madison County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And the Red River in Powell County is expected to reach moderate flood stage soon after the recent rain. Rain and high waters forced schools in Powell County to close early. It also shut down several roads yesterday. But officials with the Department of Emergency Management say even when the rain stops, the threat is not over. Water flowing down mountains can add up to the water levels, making it very dangerous for people out on the roads.
Be very cautious and very courteous of the water will do some tremendous things for you, and you don't want to be in it when it's actually moving pretty fast.
The National Weather Service forecasts the river will crest at 21.5 feet. 23 feet is a major flood stage.
Well, some families are without a home after a mudslide in Floyd County. Emergency crews say the mudslide started about 9 yesterday morning near the David community. It has not stopped since. One woman says she was at work when her parents told her what was going on.
My mom called about 2 o'clock and said, "I don't want you to be alarmed or anything," which of course alarmed me. And she said, "But the rescue squad's here, we have to evacuate."
Well, folks who live in the area are being told to stay away until all of that mud can be cleared. They're not sure how long that will take.
Highway 1274 in Menifee County is still closed this morning after a massive boulder fell out onto the road. The huge boulder is blocking the highway near the Rowan County line. No one was injured when it fell yesterday. Road crews brought in an excavator to break up the boulder into smaller pieces so those can be hauled away. Crews tell us they have some hope that they will have at least one lane of the traffic open by sometime this morning.
Well, the lights are back on for 750 people who lost power. The outage happened at about 8:30 last night in the South Broadway and Maxwell Street areas. Lexington Emergency Management says at one point Good Samaritan Hospital actually had to be operating on generator power. KU tells us the outage was probably caused by a transformer issue, but they are not sure quite yet at this point. Well, we can help you track the rain and weather alerts even when you're away from your TV on WKYT.com. That's where you can find the First Alert Defender and zoom into your neighborhood. You can also download the app for your iPad or your smartphone that'll connect you to weather tools, including live radar.
The time is 5:35 on WKYT this morning. An encouraging update now about a Lexington man badly injured when a storm knocked down a tree onto his tent. Leaders at UK Hospital tell us Brian Carlson has now been released. On April 3rd, investigators say he was camping with his wife Kathy and their 3 children at Natural Bridge State Park in Powell County. The storm knocked down a tree onto the family's tent, killing Kathy. The children were not injured.
Well, new this morning, a Lexington man is facing sex abuse charges after police say he groped a teenager on a bus.
37-year-old Michael Smith is now charged with the crime. And WKYT's Hillary Thornton is live from District Court with the latest on that case. Hillary, good morning.
Good morning, Bill and Rebecca. Smith is facing that sexual abuse charge after police say he inappropriately touched a 15-year-old while they were riding on a Lex tram bus. The 15-year-old says Smith sat down next to her and tried to make conversation, asking questions like her age, which police say she told him she's only 15 numerous times. Meanwhile, police say the 37-year-old told his victim he was only 20 and asked if she had ever dated a 20-year-old. Investigators say Smith then grabbed and held the 15-year-old's hand and eventually put his hand underneath her upper thigh. That is when the teen says she stood up immediately, getting off the bus in the Chevy Chase area, which police say is several miles from where she was intending to go. Now, at first, police did not have a suspect in this case, but once they got the surveillance video from that Lex tram bus, an officer recognized Smith because he says he was arrested and charged with this in a similar incident. Now, Smith is set to be arraigned on that first-degree sexual abuse charge today here at Fayette County District Court. Live in Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Thanks so much, Hillary. Newly released surveillance video shows a fight at a Richmond bar that involves UK and EKU football players.
Richmond police have released the video of the fight along with some other evidence. It came after the Madison County grand jury decided not to indict anyone for the fight. The video from Jersey's on January 25th shows EKU football player Colton Scurry visibly upset and talking to someone, and then moments later the fight breaks out and Scurry ends up with injuries to his face. One of Scurry's friends soon called 911 for help.
Standing on the side. What happened? My friend was at Jersey. He got jumped by a group of guys.
According to a police report, an officer who watched the video said it appeared that Scurry was the primary aggressor in the fight. Scurry suffered some cuts and broken bones. Because no one was indicted, we are not naming the UK players involved. A high-profile murder trial is underway in northern Kentucky. Shayna Hubers from Lexington is accused of shooting and killing her boyfriend when he tried to break up with her.
Hubers' attorney says she acted in self-defense, but prosecutors paint a much different picture. Todd Dykes has the story.
And we believe that the evidence will show that that is not true, that any perceived abuse by her did not rise to any level, nowhere near justification for shooting and killing someone and shooting them 6 times.
While that's the view from prosecutors, defense attorney David Mejia says Shayna Hubers shot Ryan Poston in self-defense, and testimony from neighbors will support her claim.
They heard 2 shots and then 4 shots in rapid succession. Bang, bang, and then 4 more in rapid succession. They would have you believe that she shot from across the room in cold blood and then came around and shot him as he lay on the floor.
It all started in the fall of 2012 when police raced to this apartment in Highland Heights and found the bullet-riddled body of Ryan Poston, a 29-year-old attorney who months earlier had opened a law office in Cincinnati. Detectives say the woman who called 911, Hubers, shot Poston 6 times, at least once in the forehead and then several more times to, in her words, put him out of his misery. During a hearing months later, Hubers' attorney said that his client, a former honor student at the University of Kentucky, had bruises on her arms, legs, and torso. The result, the attorney said, of abuse Hubers suffered at the hands of Ryan Poston. Now, in the days after the shooting, WKYT talked to a friend of Poston who couldn't believe the young lawyer had been shot and killed.
He was an extremely nice guy, very gentle, very kind.
Prosecutors say Hubers killed Poston because he wanted to end their relationship. And during opening statements, Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Cheryl Heater said Hubers shot Poston at close range.
And the Campbell County judge presiding over the case says he expects the trial to last 2 weeks. Well, later today, State Auditor Adam Edlin will launch a major effort to count untested sexual assault kits. This comes after Senate Joint Resolution 20 was passed during this year's legislative session. The auditor plans to find out just how many sexual assault examination kits have not been sent to the state's forensic lab for testing. They hope this will pave the way to clear up the backlog.
Time this morning is 5:40, 20 before 6, and time to check live drive traffic and see what's going on out there on the highways this morning. And it is looking good at the moment on the interstate.
And just to remind you that the Tates Creek Road in Madison County, the roadway shut down in both directions near Shallow Ford Road. That's because of a mudslide with trees and other debris.
They're several miles outside of Richmond. And a lot more news coming up for you this morning. It's good to have you along with us.
Looking at rain chances today down toward the southeast. A chance to the north. We'll take you into your latest details coming up.